Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Three.
Yeah, Steve. Really good popcorn.
Oh, you got that right, Bubble Butt.
You know, I've been hearing from a lot of our regulars on how much they miss our popcorn.
Oh, I can believe it.
It's funny, I think I hear more about missing the popcorn than I hear about missing the improv shows.
Crazy, huh?
Oh, it's sad if you ask me.
Did I?
You know, so many people have asked what the secret is to our heavenly morsels of corny delight.
Is that how they put it?
Well, that's how
You want to know the secret ingredient?
I don't know if I can shoulder that responsibility, you know, keeping that secret.
It's a real simple ingredient. Everyone has it. I mean, even you possess it.
I do?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued now. Certain kind of salt. Paprika? Parsley? Sage? Rosemary? Thyme?
Which one are you, Simon or Garfunkel?
Simon.
It's love.
Love?
I make the popcorn with love.
Well, how's that?
Oh, I think you can tell the difference when something is made with love and when it isn't. Like my mom. On Sundays, my mom would make dinner and it would be, pot roast or chicken and dumplings or boneless ribs, and she made that with love. Yeah. But on Tuesday nights was bath night, and so she made spaghetti, and she phoned it in. I could tell, but I never phoned in my popcorn popping. Neither did you, because we cared. We still care. Doesn't that taste like love?
I guess I just don't know what love tastes like, Steve.
No, I guess you don't. And for that, I feel sorry for you.
Hey, Steve, listen, don't take this the wrong way or anything, but your breath is a little suspect.
Suspect. Well, I haven't brushed in a while, and my electric toothbrush is on the fritz.
Well, you do realize you can still brush with it, it just doesn't turn on.
Wow, an electrical engineer and a dentist. Where does he find the time? God, I don't want to risk possible electrocution, David Handwright, DDS.
You're a fool.
Hey, if I'm a fool for proper, safe oral hygiene, then guilty as charged, lock me up.
You should be locked up. And welcome to This Week in Review with Maine Rep and the Chamber of Comedy. I'm David Hanray.
And I'm Steve Burnett. And this week's update is brought to you by Hodgkin, Bodgkin, Lodgkins and Associates of Northern Maine. The very moment Sketch Driscoll of Presque Isle drove his combine through Pastor McGregor's living room, he knew he would need legal help. Whenever the good people of Maine have legal needs and harvest questions, they always turn to Hodgkin, Bodgkin, Lodgkins and Associates of Aroostook. Remember what Jerry Bodgkin says, you can't dig potatoes from prison unless they're prison potatoes. That's a mouthful. Call HBLA today. Mira?
Thanks, Steve. Well, it's the waning days of August, and you know what that means.
It's time for me to hit the laundromat.
It's back to school time, Steve. Youth and their parents all over the country are preparing for what will be the most challenging season of learning in history.
Every school season was a challenge for me.
A recent poll shows that nearly 64% of parents worry that their child will bring home that nasty COVID-19 virus, while 32% say they will be more concerned about the flu.
What about the other 4%? What were they concerned about?
Well, it doesn't say. Evidently, they weren't worried about anything.
Oh, or maybe they were worried about their toothbrush electrocuting them. In other news, look for a new option in personal transportation that's also good for the environment. It's simply called the poop car. Fueled solely by human and animal excrement, the poop car will offer drivers an alternative to the embarrassing electric car and the old fuel-powered dinosaur gasoline engine. The plan is to unveil the poop car sometime in 2021. But for now, developers are still working out some of the kinks, such as how to fill the tank at the self-serve stations without losing one's dignity at the pump.
You know all about losing your dignity, don't you, Steve?
Absolutely.
You know, Steve, it brings a whole new meaning to the maneuverability portion of your driver's test.
I don't follow.
In other news, you've heard of Bigfoot, the Yeti, the Loch Ness Monster, and Sasquatch, just to name a few.
Well, you've named 4. A few is 3, but who's counting?
Well, a man in Kenneport Bunk claims to have witnessed a strange, unexplainable figure recently. We caught up with Girth Spangley tending to the shrubbery in his backyard.
Well, I was standing right there checking on my Burt and Ivy bushes. They've been having a tough time surviving this summer, what with all the dry weather, when all of a sudden, off in the distance, I seen it. It was walking on 4 legs, had the head of a, had the head of a medium-sized dog, had some sort of black belt round its neck, and then poof, into the woods it ran. And just a little bit later, I could hear something like a bark off in the distance. Well, needless to say, I locked up my shed and brought in all our food that we normally leave laying round the yard. I don't want to see that creature again. Later that night, our neighbor was walking her dog, and you know what? Looked an awful lot like him. Yeah. Huh? Oh, the other thing? Oh, the small doll-sized figurine that me and Hazel saw staring at us from outside our bedroom windowsill last night. Yeah, that was odd too, I suppose. You know, it was dark and all, so it was hard to make out. More of a silhouette, if you will. But it looked like a cross between our grandson's old G.I. Joe doll and my old Johnny West doll that I buried somewhere in the dooryard when I was a kid. Never did remember to dig them up. Now someone else is living there. How odd would it be to go into their dooryard and start digging up the earth just to find my doll? Anywho, yeah, I gotta admit, waking up to find something like that staring at you is a little off-putting. So, I changed into some dry pajama bottoms, grabbed my shotgun, and headed out to deal with this strange varmint. But he was gone, and all that was left was them 2 little footprints.
Pajamas.
So, strangest thing, Hazel and I got up, made coffee and her famous blueberry pancakes, and we talked about what we thought we saw. Then figured maybe 'twas the tainted butter from last night's lobster dinner kicking back in, doing weird things with our head. Yeah, then we made love. Anything else you want to know?
Ooh. Yowza.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Locals are being warned to keep on the lookout for this strange miniature creature.
As well as the guttural sounds, no doubt, of Girth and Hazel making the love.
And if spotted, the strange miniature figure that is, do not approach, but rather contact a local game warden.
You know, I, for one, don't think that this is anything to make sport of. And now, here's a look at what to expect at the upcoming COVID-19 Quarantine Film Festival. Jeanette?
Steve, yes, it's been called the Cannes of Corona, the Sundance of pandemics.
Oh.
It's the 2020 Quarantine Film Festival. This week-long virtual event will feature a few remakes of some old classics.
Oh, great.
Here's a partial list. Remember that classic with Audrey Hepburn? Breakfast on the Curb outside at Tiffany's. And this remake of a remake of a remake, A Star is Born. Matthew McConaughey's classic, The Dallas Amazon Prime Buyers Club. The British biopic, The King's Bleach. And that historic fiction action adventure, Saving Private Ryan's Toilet Paper. And also Les Miserables.
Wow, that is quite a list. Get me one tall soda pop and a bucket of the world's greatest...
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. And now with a personal note, here's Steve.
Thank you, Darla. Maintaining any sort of healthy regimen is always a challenge. And for some during this pandemic, it's even more of a mountain. One is either too lazy or simply too out of shape to even consider scaling. We've all put on the COVID calories, some of us more than others. I, for one, have actually lost weight during this time. Like I needed to even tell you that. What with the high, chiseled cheekbones and the gaunt, vacant raccoon eye sockets. And how did I do it? Well, I returned to running, my very first love. Well, actually, my first love is still in prison. But running has not only started me on the road, pun intended, to a healthier Steve, it's actually improved my attitude, my mindset, my overall mental health. And how can I tell? Well, I have stopped chewing on my car's steering wheel while I drive. I no longer scream at my swimming pool, and at night when everything is dark and quiet, I don't fall asleep crying quite as much. What is my point? Make the effort. Get out there, walk a mile. The next day, walk 2. The next day, 3. And hey, if my math is correct, at the end of the week, you'll wake up 28 miles away from home. That, my friend, can only be a good thing.
Think I've gained weight, Steve?
No. Not me, Dave. Everyone thinks you gained weight.
Well, that's this week's update. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.
Remember, when news breaks out, so do we.
I'm a little insensitive, Steve, of the weight thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's hard to hear you over the sound of my electric toothbrush not working.
Where is the love you talk about?
Oh, the love. Oh, I put all that in the popcorn.